From a sniper standpoint, I am curious because it's been, such a big hotbed topic now. Is there a counter sniper component to FBI, both in practical application of whether it's dignitary support or things that you're doing where it would make sense to do counter sniper, but then do they also utilize somebody like yours expertise in, say, a Charlie Kirk assassination case where they would bring you in as an FBI sniper and help the investigation? Like, do you do any of that? Or would you do any of that?
Let me think about that. I don't think I did.
I guess, would it be logical for...
Yeah. Part of it was like, I retired 3 years ago, and a lot of this crap just happened. So... Yeah, I think it would probably be reasonable that the FBI would look at its own snipers for investigative purposes.
Yeah. While we're on that topic,
yeah,
I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. As a multi-decade FBI sniper, seeing the Charlie Kirk assassination and just the multitude of conspiracy. I don't want to necessarily say conspiracy theories, but all this different angle and video footage that hasn't been seen before, and who knows if it's doctored or not, or if it's completely CGI generated. Like, you don't know what to believe. Yeah. But from like that 30,000 foot view, what is your take on the overall assassination operationally?
Well, you struck a point with me that I'm to the point where I feel like I don't know who I would trust with anything. From the media or from, man, that sounds crass, or from any government official, like
even the one you used to work for.
I would, yeah. Well, and that's what I mean. I feel very fortunate because I can call my old teammates and go, "Hey, man, what happened?" Like with the Dallas shooting that just happened, I could call my teammates and they were like, "Hey, yeah, we just did this," stuff that they're allowed to tell me. And so it's nice to have that peek into, like, okay, my old team is still functioning. They're still banging on all 8 cylinders, and so I have faith in that. Like, that's the thing I have the most faith in our government, because I was in it for so long. But when I watch news stories and hear I don't know what to believe. I'll tell you what I think you already believe. It's that, like, murder is wrong, and killing someone for any political reason is despicable. I had an interview lined up for this weekend that just got canceled. And if they watch this, I was disappointed because I was looking forward to talking to them. But they canceled it because of all the stuff that's going on and the perception of what a sniper is right now. And that it made me kind of mad. I was talking to one of my teammates who's out in Virginia this morning. And he's like, hey, in fairness, Merriam-Webster, it says sniper is someone who shoots from a concealed location. But it bothers me that there's sort of we don't want to talk about you and your career in the military and the FBI because you're a sniper, because a sniper's a bad thing right now. I wish.
Yeah. That's just
it makes me mad when they refer to this like a murderer as a sniper. Screw that guy.
Yeah. To me, the burning question is do you know anybody that has any insight into the Charlie Kirk assassination specifically, and have you talked to them about anything that they know?
Nothing that's not, no. I don't.
So that's a no, or nothing that we don't
like
argue?
Nothing that's not already, yeah. I've called friends and teammates, and nothing surprising or scandalous, like.
So the answer is yes, you do know people and have reached out to them, but there hasn't been any information that hasn't already been put out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that, again, from your operational expertise being so extensive, and I don't want to turn into one of these guys that analyzes every bit of footage and says, oh, it came from the back, and well, what about his shirt in this way and whatever. But the one thing that I am a little baffled on is, and to be clear, like, who knows if the video footage is even authentic and original and unaltered, but the weapon that was used, right, it's this old Mauser bolt action. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to break down quickly. Mm-hmm. There's video of him jumping off the roof unless I'm missing something, I don't know where that weapon could have been on his person when he's doing that. And then it's found, again, later on, hundreds of yards or further away in a tree line, put back together, wrapped in a towel. Does that line up as being plausible to you?
Seems bizarre. I'll tell you, having been on the inside, working on some big cases and seeing what the media, not even nefariously, just like begging for crumbs, right? It's their job. They're like, I want every little thing. And they'll get something mixed up. And sometimes they get it mixed up and they get even better ratings because now it's scandalous. And so from the inside, I've seen that and thought, you're getting it wrong. You're getting more attention now that you're getting it wrong. So everything I see now on TV, I take with a grain of salt because I think, was that part of the finalized report, or is that something that someone in the media is scrounging up to increase their ratings? So my attitude is like, I just withhold judgment.
I mean, I'm right there with you. When it comes to, oh, he was at Dairy Queen an hour later or 20 minutes, like, okay, well, that doesn't, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. If the dude's off his rocker, then what, but to me, like, it's irrelevant. Like, to me, that doesn't say, well, it couldn't have been him because he calmly had a blizzard 20 minutes later. Like, who knows? Mm-hmm. To me, the one thing that I can say unequivocally that I would say this doesn't match with what I know about shooting from elevated positions and trying to egress quickly and escape after the fact, that the video that you see there very clearly demonstrates to me that there's a hole. So I would just ask, like, from your perspective, like, is it possible that he had the rifle on from the video that on his person, from the video that you saw, that he was able to break it down on the rooftop, conceal it in a manner which you can't tell that it's on his body, and make a jump from that height and land the way that he did, take off running with both of his arms loose, with just a floppy jacket or hoodie in one hand, and manage to get that rifle hundreds of yards away or further, put back together, wrapped in a towel, and concealed? Does that seem possible?
I have no idea. I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but I think having done federal investigation for 25 years, I deeply suspend judgment as long as possible. Like, I don't want to set a bias for myself. So when I was working a case, if I followed a lead, I'd followed a lead, but I would always be open to what if. And one of the places I still have a lot of confidence is in our federal court system. Like, this will go before, I don't know if this one particularly will necessarily, but these big cases go before courts where guys like you and I get to sit in the jury box, and really highly paid, highly trained attorneys get to duke it out. And when they can sit down and say, this guy's DNA is here and it was on this, and this bullet matches the chromium amount that's in this bullet, and a shrapnel was recovered from here, and here's photos that were taken. So, when they start to put together that kind of stuff and a jury makes their decision and there's overwhelming evidence, that's when I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to start deciding what I think is true and what's not. I just don't. Watching stuff on the news, I don't really watch the news. I listen to it. I listen to, like, my Echo Dot in the morning, and I'll listen to NPR and Fox and USA. Like, I want to hear all of it, and then I want to pick apart. Somewhere in the middle is probably the truth of it, but I don't watch the videos.
Yeah.
Like, the video you're talking about, I haven't watched.
Okay. I mean, maybe I'm guilty of my own accusation of picking things apart, and I want to be transparent enough to say, maybe I do fall into that category, because I don't disagree that in the court of law, it's like if ballistically and scientifically you can prove that this weapon was fired and the bullet that came from it is what ended his life, and your DNA is now on that weapon and it's at this location, how you got it from point A to point B is essentially irrelevant, right? Because ultimately it's connecting enough dots to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt in a court system that you fired that weapon and killed him, no matter how you got away with it, no matter how you Houdini'd your way off the roof, and is that those are the facts, and so everything in between is essentially inconsequential. Is that a fair way to look at it?
I think it is, and I don't get too excited about conspiracy theories because in a really big agency that has really high standards like the FBI, you could never manage to keep a conspiracy under wraps. Like if people put themselves in the first person position, they put themselves in the seat of being the agent, knowing what I know about how the agency is built, the amount of autonomy that we get. But if you think about like you and your 10 best buddies,
somebody's going to run their mouth.
Someone's going to run their mouth, right?
Yeah.
And they'll proudly, right? If they're like, Mike, here's the deal. We're going to blow up the Twin Towers. Wait, hear me out. You'd be like, oh.
No, I agree.
You know?
I agree 100%. I've said that for years now on the show with, a lot of skepticism towards a lot of things, is that, while I understand mistrust of the government and in pretty much at every level and capacity, they have shown us that they've broken our trust time and time again. Having said that, the larger the scale of the operation that you're saying was a false flag or some sort of shell game bait and switch, you're frankly giving these people way more credit than is deserved to pull something like that off and not have somebody have a tell-all book with a $10 million royalty advance, or got drunk one night in Colombia with some hookers and spilled the beans and it's on a cell phone recording or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with any of that. And again, like as I'm talking through it, maybe I'm leaping to that same conclusion of saying, well, this video doesn't add up. But if all of the other evidence, very succinctly or distinctly proves that, hey, the bullet that ended his life came from this weapon and your DNA is all over it. There's, an ability to prove that you were on the rooftop. Like it kind of doesn't matter from a technical and legal process through the court system how you got it done. However, I would say that because the distrust is so high in, especially the FBI right now, because let's be honest, between January 6th, the Epstein stuff, Comey, going all the way back to I would say even Trump's first term, there's been some missteps, but because that is such a problem, if it were me and I'm Kash Patel, I would go out of my way to share those details and say, hey, I know that there's been a lot of questions on the bullet entry and impact, and so we're going to clear some of that up. I know there's been a lot of speculation as to there's no way he could have had the weapon, and here's what we found. Why don't they do that?
Well, the old school bureau is you don't talk about an investigation until it's done, and I feel like that used to be respected. Again, you could tell a congressman, and they would say, "Oh, of course." Like, wait till it's done, and because if we give you a little bit here and a little bit there, you're not getting the whole picture, and now we're accidentally skewing what we're telling you, or we're, if someone can still flee, we're giving them a clue that they should run or whatever the case is. But you said something that made me think about, I'm super defensive of the FBI. Like, I just am. I gave
understandably
most of my life and saw a lot of horrible things and patched up bullet holes. And left a piece of myself behind doing a job for a country that I loved. So, but something like, I think you would understand this in particular, when I hear the crap on TV about, like you mentioned, Patel or Comey or someone in the DOJ, I think to use another military analogy, it would be like you as a SEAL, now as a former SEAL, if someone said, hey man, did you hear 4-star Admiral so-and-so said something to 3-star Admiral so-and-so, and then he didn't do the thing that he was supposed to do as an Admiral, and now you can't trust SEALs anymore, you'd go, what? What does that have to do, what does that Admiral have to do with me as my trident?